So the heart of Embrace, though, is this view of sessions. These are just the most recent sessions. Pulling across last 14 days, you can, of course, filter in a variety of ways here. So maybe we want to filter for things like, well, these are all going to have the same, aren't they? All right, well, we'll just say you can look at a variety of sessions. And of course, you can click into an individual session to see what's going on in that session. We give you kind of a high level view here of, different major elements like traces or network requests. And then in the weeds, you can go and look at line by line what's going on. Oop, looks like there's a 403 on this network request. So there's a number of ways you can kind of aggregate some of this data and make it into a metric that you take into your data destination. I think the most helpful way to look at this is in your board setting. So I'm going to look at the board's important stats. And so you can start to visually understand what are the different aggregations I can build. So I really like this one, request by status. So these are network requests, and just, are you getting 200s or are you getting 400s? And you can start to see how those have evolved over time. And so what's nifty about this is that for many of our widgets that you can build like this in your board, you can just simply create a custom metric from it. And in fact, we have a YouTube quick video on this, so I'm not going to walk through it step by step. But the idea is you can take any of these and turn them into a custom metric. And of course, you don't have to go this route if you know exactly what you want to build. We have it in our settings page as well. You can go through one by one and see some of these. What's interesting about this is with every custom metric, you, for free, get it in the Embrace Metrics API. And again, this is something Embrace hosts, and you can pull it down at any point. So you can put as much data in there as you want and selectively pull what you need. Maybe you only care about the last 2 days because you launched a new version and you think your network requests are going haywire. But if you want, you can forward it to a data destination. And in this case, this metric is going to both New Relic and Grafana Cloud. And that means the metric will be stored in all of its cardinality every single time it's generated in your backend observability tool, so you can play with it however you want. So what this actually looks like is something like this. So in Grafana Cloud, I have a simple dashboard, and I'm pulling the 5-minute sessions total. And I'm just pulling it raw here, but we can start to play around with this, and we can aggregate it and say, actually, I want to see all of it by 5 minutes. And maybe, I actually don't want to see it by 5 minutes. Maybe I want to see it by 10 minutes. You can play around with your steps, however makes sense to you here. Maybe you want to add a certain filter in here and say, like, only show me the latest app version. I think we only have one app version for this, so it might not be that interesting. You could also start to group it by different things. We can jump over to code, and if you know PromQL, you could start to just play with it by this. Let's say device model. Nope, and as you can tell, we're only using a simulator, so we only get one group. So maybe not the best demo, but just a quick example of how we're now in Grafana, our own observability tool, reporting the data from Embrace into it, and we can play with it however we want and just save it as a dashboard here. Should probably give it a title, though. The data scientist in me really doesn't like that I didn't label any of this. So and voila.
Beautiful.
Oh, I should add one more thing, because this is Grafana and you can do this in many tools. If you want to turn this into an alert, you can do it in Grafana. And that way, if your team relies on Grafana alerting, you don't have to set up yet another alerting system. You can just port your data into what you already use. And with Grafana, they have a new SLO feature. And so you can also play around with that. Your Embrace data can be part of your SLO budgets going forward.